Red Hood Outlaw issue 45. Take it away.
Yeah, still love Del writing and Pantalina on the art, which is the knockoff Rocafort we've had for a few issues now. Yeah, this issue's slightly more focused than some of the last ones, but still pretty rough. It focuses a lot more in on Jason and Bizarro side of things. Artemis only gets a few pages, although very confusing page, I might add. I'll get to that. And the Margun stuff with Malor and the Brain. It has like 2 pages again, not quite at the end as an epilogue, but just kind of spliced about 2/3 through randomly. Feels very disparate, so that's still there. It turns out they're taking over training the Generation Outlaw kids. Sure, fine, I guess. But I mean, we open with a bit of a flashback with Jason. He's on some mountain of eternal despair, is what it's called, and this is the old cast stuff. The people who brought him back to life, kind of, and trained him to fight these things, the Untitled. That's what they're called, that are possessing them, and he had the All Blades from them. But yeah, a lot of nonsense. But we actually took it to present day. We're in the riots in Iraq that's going on. All the people, the protesters who had hope, have been infected by the Untitled because they feed on hope or something. I don't know. But so they're having to just take out all these protesters because they're not them anymore. They're infected. The art here is particularly rough. In fact, I urge both of you right now to go to Comixology and just look at it, because it'll be in the preview pages, because it's in the first 3 pages. Jason's arms are in the top half of this double page spread with the titles on. So 3rd page are intense, is the word I would use. Very unbalanced. And it's not even consistently like this throughout the issue. Like a lot of the time he looks fine. But here it was particularly bad, where it really stuck out.
Which issue is this again?
45. It's the last one on there, Matt.
All right.
But mostly it's them fighting these things. They've got the old-timey superhero, not Captain America dude, kind of urging them on to fight. That's kind of just going on. He gets up with the Captain America dude, whose name I'm completely forgetting, and I'm just using that because he's clearly supposed to be evocative of that. He gets infected and possessed. He gets possessed by the leader of the Untitled. And he opens up a portal, a gateway to this labyrinth. Or what is it? The entrance to the Chamber of All. But apparently the only entrance before now has been under the Himalayan mountains, where the old cast have protected it for centuries, and they've suddenly just opened it up here. And it's this mystical labyrinth that can be used to travel to anywhere in space and time. And so I guess this is bad. Sure.
But you have not told me that Bizarro has a mohawk and goatee beard. Well, maybe it's just a beard.
I'm sure I mentioned it at some point when he came back.
Well, Pete, he looks like Seamus now. He's got the beard and the mohawk, and he's jacked and he's gray. I mean, just swap the paleness for gray. Also, yeah, Jason's forearms are bigger than his biceps, and if that's the case, you need help, bud.
I think he's been on that Britt Baker training regimen.
He's been juicing a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
And I think it really stuck out because the rest of the issue, it's not that he looks particularly amazing, but he looks fine, right? It's serviceable for most of the issue. But that page where it's this showcase page, it really stood out as being very rough. But yeah, and the Artemis stuff, she's fighting Essence, who is infected Isabel, which is Jason's ex sort of girl who was earlier in the run. The one with the dog and the sword that appeared a few issues ago, if anyone cares to remember that. But they're having a bit of a fight. She's getting all Essence is getting all high and mighty because the sword that she's got does hurt Artemis, and it's only supposed to hurt the guilty. And she's like, yeah, well, I know what I did. It's fine. I'm trying to make it better. But then there's a weird page that happens, and I don't I don't understand this. So she's down. Essence is about to just decapitate her, essentially. And there's a bright light, and she opens her eyes. She's just like, what? And someone is standing there holding, the Essence just by the head. She's got a beat. And there's this big, tall, Amazon-looking warrior with the huge hair, like Saiyan levels of hair. I'm talking here, and she's holding what very much looks to be Artemis's axe, mistress, if you remember. Which Matt probably does. Probably the only thing Matt consistently remembers from this run is the axe that was basically Mjolnir.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, but this woman holding it, she's like, by the goddess, who are you? And she's like, you know me, child. Say my name. And she just
Shazam.
says mistress. Like, this is the physical embodiment of the axe. I don't know what's going on here. She shows up out of nowhere. She hasn't even had the axe recently. I just don't understand. I genuinely do not understand what is going on at this point here, because it makes no sense to me. It's baffling. 3.5.
Glad you're enjoying it.